Hi, everyone. Welcome back to the Sports Performance Podcast. Welcome all new listeners, and welcome back to those who have heard our content in the past. If you want to know 3 ways to stay injury-free while you continue to do the things that you love, you have to tune into this episode. Before I go on to the podcast, what is new in the sports performance world? Everything. For those of you who've been on our world for a while or just starting, um, it is always things happening behind the scenes. I want to celebrate a couple things. We just opened up our third location last year. So those who've been following us for years, when we started this podcast 3, 4 years ago, who have been on the journey with us. This is our third clinic, and our first one we opened in 2016. Our second one in San Diego was in 2021, and our most recent one was in 2023. And we're absolutely grateful. I will have to say this is all due to the hard work that our entire team puts in. And ultimately it's you. It's you helping us be able to help more people, and it's you recommending us to other people and telling more people about what we can do and be able to help people like yourselves. So I want to say thank you. Thank you to the team, and we're excited to continue moving forward. Other than that, we've got great new exciting programs. I know last month we talked about the launch of our new memberships within our organization, which has been exciting. We're doing that in addition. We're also including some programs that I'll share with you that have to do with today's topic. But ultimately, it's about keeping you, your kids, your parents, your aunts, your neighbors, everybody healthy. So as we talk about this, I want you to think about who we can help in your world, whether that's you or somebody that you do know. Our main focus is to be able to just continue serving our community. So I'll share that with you as we go along. We do have some new team members on the team as well, so we'll celebrate that and just a lot of good things. Ultimately, life is great, and we want to continue keeping it that way. So, all right, here we go. On to the podcast. Let's do this. So, why are we talking about this? Why are we talking about 3 ways to stay injury free? Well, most people come into sports performance, or they see their massage therapist or physical therapist or their chiropractor, whoever they see them because they have aches and pains. Now, that's really what drives people to seek out help. The reality is, we all walk around with pain. Somehow we have aches and pains somewhere, right? Recently, it's been my wrist. Other times it's my knee, and sometimes it's my back. And just like you, we all battle these aches and pains. Now you have to ask, well, what makes somebody go in to seek care? What makes them go in? And I can tell you exactly what it is. No, it's not like stabbing pain or sharp pain or whatever it is. It has nothing to do with that, because we can all tolerate pain to a certain extent. When we can't tolerate it anymore is when it interferes with the quality of our life, whether that is sleeping, whether that's doing CrossFit or F45 or hiking or walking or biking or swimming, whatever that is. You really don't pay attention to pain unless it interferes with your life to a certain extent, and then you can't tolerate it anymore, and that's why you go seek out help. Now, as we see people at sports performance, our mission, or if you ask me, what's the end goal with being at sports performance? Our goal is to be able to, one, get you out of that pain, but number two, being able to help you understand what causes it, what triggers it, and then how to help you overcome it, and lastly, how to prevent it from coming back. Now, if I can do all those stages, quality of life is going to be amazing. I can tell you, we've seen people for years, 3, 5, 7 years at sports performance, and we're very grateful. And the one thing we understand is you're human, and you're going to get hurt throughout your lifespan. Our goal is to not just work on your pain. Our goal is to give you the tools necessary so that you can learn how to navigate when to push and pull, when to decide to come see us again. So that way you have an arsenal, a toolbox to be able to manage your own health and manage your own lifestyle so that you can stay active and healthy. Our job is to, one, get you out of pain immediately, but then also give you the education, give you the tips, give you the tricks to avoid it from coming back. That's our ultimate dream. So the topic today is about staying injury free. Yes, we can get you out of pain, not a problem. But our goal is on the flip side, once you're out of pain or you don't have pain now, how do we keep you there? That is actually very, very challenging. I'm gonna talk about three concepts. And it's very critical wherever you are on your fitness and health journey, whether you're just starting, you're super advanced, you're a professional athlete, you're a community member, or you're hesitant to get going because you don't know what to do or where to start. And so this is for everybody. All right. So the first one I have for you is um, you have to know where you where you are essentially um, getting hurt. And I'm going to phrase it as you have to learn um, when your body gets close to the red zone or redlining. And what I mean by that is, maybe you have an ache in your shoulder, right? And you slept with it, slept funny, and maybe that day you continue on and it goes away. For some people, it continues on and it becomes worse. Now it hurts with reaching, maybe putting on your seatbelt or carrying something or lifting weights, whatever that is. And that ache and pain becomes no longer an ache and pain, but it limits you from doing something very important in your life. Maybe that's playing with your kids. Maybe that's putting on your bra, maybe whatever that is. And that's when people seek out help. And our goal is to be able to have you be able to identify that so it doesn't continue on and progress. Let me give you a little fun fact. Pain is 100% predictable, preventable, and is due to an overload in physical stress. What that means is pain just doesn't come out of nowhere. So if you ever come to sports performance and a physical therapist asks you, well, when did it happen? What time did it happen? What was your position? You're like, I don't know. It just started happening. What we're obsessed with is finding the story that led up to it because pain is always um, is due to repetitive stress over time. So our job is to figure out where's the root of it. Now, once you start learning more about your body, you're in a better place to be able to control what happens to it. So say, for instance, you do have that shoulder pain and so what's a good guideline? How do you learn when you push too much or go to that red zone? Let me give you a really easy classification that we use. Number one is if you have an ache or a pain with doing an activity, say reaching or lifting weights, and once you stop that activity, the pain stops and you no longer feel it throughout the day, it's okay. That's a green light. Go ahead and proceed. Now, if you have that same ache or pain and you continue doing the activity and it doesn't go away until you sleep and you wake up the next morning and it's gone, ooh, that's a yellow light, meaning you're now getting worse as you go on. So for most people, it only hurts with doing the activity and goes away. That's a green light. Go ahead and continue. Number two, a yellow light is where you continue doing it and it doesn't go away until the next day. That's a yellow light. You have to kind of proceed with caution. And the last one is if you feel it during the day, you feel it despite the activity, and then you wake up with it the next morning, that's a red light. You're going in the red zone. It's too far. So if you're waking up with pain, you have pain throughout the day and you're waking up with it, you're going too far. And that's when you're about to hit a trouble zone, the red zone. So if you can understand that and you can apply that to your everyday life, we call that the green, yellow, and red light system at sports performance. And if you can hone that in and you can understand what that means, and you can use that for your own life, you'll be in a better spot to now manage your pain and never have to come to see us for pain, but just for guidance. Hey, I tried this. I got in the red zone for this. What should I have done sooner? And that's perfect because ultimately those are the things that we want to be able to help you adjust. And so if you can learn the red, yellow, and green light system, it puts you in such a better position to be successful and healthy and keep you injury free. Now, I said for some, this is about you and managing your pain. But if you have a family member, a sister, an aunt, your dad, your mom, or this is for your kids. I know a lot of you have teenage kids that we've either been able to help or, we've seen them grow up and we want to be able to support them because they're going to have aches and pains too. So the question becomes, Chris, when do I send my kids into sports performance? Well, if you can use the red, yellow, and green light system, those are the questions we're going to ask. When does it hurt? When did it start? Does it stop with activity? Do you wake up with it? And then we can kind of gauge how far along you are along that trauma process. So the sooner you can learn it for yourself, the sooner you can identify how much to push and pull and when to come see us. And that's powerful for us. So that's one way you can keep you, your family, and your kids injury free just by knowing how close are you getting to that red light. So that's number one. Number two, you have to. This is an interesting one because this is person dependent, but this is a good problem. You ready? You have to stay active. And people say, well, yeah, I am active. Okay. I mean, even if you're in pain, you still have to stay active. And what I mean by that is we're not of the old adage, like, push through pain or pain is weakness leaving the body. We're not about saying that. We're about saying that pain is an indicator. It's talking to you. Your body's talking to you. And so your job is to not add more stress. I told you that pain is from physical stress over time. Your job is not to add more physical stress. However, that's to the injury site. So say if it's your shoulders, but now you can still move your legs. You can still work on the other shoulder. You can still work on your core. You can still do other things. You can hike, you can swim, you can do all these other things. And what I mean by this is that across a week, you have to maintain, or even a month, a week or a month or a year, your average workouts have to be consistent, meaning all of us in life, if you get sick, your friends come into town, you injure your knee, there's going to be waves where you're working out a lot and then you're not working out. And the average has to be greater than 3 days a week. There's a very large organization in the fitness world that's very well respected, and they produce research. And one of the key factors that we live by is that 2 days of working out is bare minimum. 3 days is where you actually have progress, and anything more is perfect. So when we say, how do you stay injury free? It's a good problem. You actually have to exercise more. You have to stay moving. You have to stay active. The downside is your body tells you when you're hurt to shut down. And we're over here telling you, it's okay, your shoulders hurt, but I want you in the pool. I want you running. I want you hiking. I want you moving. Why? Because if I can maintain 3 to 5 days of high level activity, your health, your mental clarity, your motivation will stay higher. So even if you battle aches and pains or you're sick or you have friends coming in town, the way you stay injury free is you keep moving. You don't stop. I know it sounds so counterintuitive, but the people who are the most healthy, the most fit, are the ones who are the most consistent. So what I mean is I need you exercising on a weekly basis, on a monthly basis, on an annual basis that is averaging 3 to 5 days of fitness at the bare minimum, meaning there's going to be months where you're 2 days. There's going to be months where you're 5 days. Are you averaging 3 to 5 days of general movement? And if you're not, you have to solve that problem now. And it doesn't have to be you have to run marathons or half marathons. You just have to stay active, whatever your definition is. So if you enjoy walking your dogs around the neighborhood, and that's your physical activity, that's fine. I just need you doing it 5 days. If you enjoy doing CrossFit 4 days a week, that's okay. I just need you staying at 3 or 4. If you enjoy running marathons, I just need you staying consistent with the numbers that you produce annually. And if you can maintain average exercise of 3 to 5 days, you're going to win. You're going to stay injury free. I know that sounds so counterintuitive. So number one is you have to know how close to the red line is. Number two is you have to maintain an average output of exercise, a good fitness level across a year, across a month, across a week. And those two things are very, very critical. Now, this last one, if you've been on our podcast before, this one's a very important one to me, but it's very critical, whether that's you, your kids, your aunt, your uncles. You have to get sleep. Now, you say like, oh, well, I've heard that before. I'm telling you, I lost nearly 50 pounds by a multitude of factors, but One of the biggest factors was getting more than 6 hours of sleep, but that's what my body needed. And I was just constantly working hard and not sleeping and over exercising. And what my body did, even though I was exercising a lot, but I wasn't sleeping, my body wasn't allowing me to rest. So I kept getting injured and I went down this downward spiral of I worked out, hard for 5 days. I wasn't sleeping, and then my back started hurting. And then because of that, it would limit my exercise for 2 to 3 weeks, and then I wouldn't exercise. So you can see how an average work output of exercising is more important than these highs and lows. And so, what sleep helps you do is it releases all the hormones to help you recover, get all those achiness kind of resolved, and allow your muscles to feel less stiff, more relaxed, less tension, so that you can continue staying consistent going to the gym. And so, you don't want to have these highs and lows. And in order to block you from getting highs and lows, think about the things that block you from having the highs and lows. What are the things that cause it? When you have really good highs, it's because you're motivated, you're enjoying it. Maybe you found a friend and you're excited. Well, what are the lows? Typically, it's associated with sickness or illness. You go on vacation, which is okay. You're having high stress at work, and so these lows are basically they're chipping away at your immune system. And so if you can boost your immune system consistently, so what boosts your immune system? Uh, Good healthy diet and nutrition, consistent working out, and good sleep. Those are the easiest way to do it, right? It doesn't cost you a lot of money. It just costs you time and dedication. So if you're asking how do you stay injury free, sleep is so critical because it'll help build your immune system. So if you have good nutrition, you have good sleep, and you're exercising, your immune system is boosted, which allows you to stay healthy. But if you are not sleeping properly and but you have good nutrition, it's not going to do the same thing. Sleep, one of the most important things is allowing your body to recover. If you don't, it will see your body as being attacked by its own system. That's why people get sick because your body's talking to you, shut down. You're doing too much. You're too much stress. You're not sleeping enough. You're not eating enough and you're exercising too much. So your body's trying to shut you down. So your body is always trying to find this homeostasis. It's trying to find this balance. And all you can do is called progressive overload. You can little by little challenge it more and more, exercise just a little bit harder, but you can't go through these highs and lows. And that's why your body's going to shut you down. So if you're looking to stay injury free, whether it's your kids or you need sleep. Now, this is a hard conversation to have with kids because they want to be on their iPhones or iPads or late up at night, and they're the most critical. They have a lot of stress, whether at school, they have a lot of homework, they're in youth sports, and for them, their immune system is so critical, and that's why they get sick, and that's why it's very difficult for them to perform all year long. And so when they come into our office, that's where we have the challenges. We have to work on the fundamentals, and we have to explain to parents this is not about their knee, it has nothing to do with their knee. It's because they're not sleeping, they're overstressed, and they can use a little bit better nutrition. Yes, we will help you with the knee, but if you're really looking at maximizing how do you stay injury free, you have to do these three critical steps. So whether that's you or your kids, I'm telling you right now, you have to do three things. You implement that red, yellow, and green light system. Know where the red light is. Number two, you have to learn about your sleeping habits and measure that and look, paying attention to how much you're actually recovering. And last but not least is have a consistent output of exercise and not just one hard week or 2 hard weeks. And if you put all three of those things together, you're in a position where you're not as injured, you're feeling great, and you've had a great year or quarter or month or whatever that is. And that's our mission. If you ask me why I started sports performance, is to be able to empower people. I took all these concepts and ideas from working with professional athletes, and this is how we serviced athletes at the highest level. All these foundational principles, and we want to bring it to the community truly to be able to help out your kids, your grandkids, everybody. We have this long-term vision to be able to support generations and beyond. And using these principles, we've been able to do it in San Diego, and we're expanding into Curry Mesa and expanding into Chula Vista to be able to do it. And there's so many people who are benefiting from it. So the next step in what we're creating are injury prevention programs. So to be able to help you and and most importantly too is your kids and the youth, because once we can establish good, healthy, active habits for youth athletes, that education will go to their kids and their grandkids. That is significantly important to us. So at the moment, we're creating our new programs for injury prevention this summer. We're looking to, this was a program that we designed about a year ago, and now we're bringing it in. We finally are putting it together. But we're actually, for the first time ever, creating a year-long program for our youth athletes and for adults. We're looking at creating baseline testing using pre-concussion based tests. We have a lot of athletes who have, they get hit in the head with volleyball, or, they are wrestling and they bump their head, whatever it is. So we're looking at creating a baseline test for concussion. We're also looking at doing a baseline test for ACL prevention, where athletes injure their knees and they twist and fall and tear a ligament. There are actual tests that you can do to predict if someone's going to be at high risk. So what we're also doing is looking at strength testing and looking at body weight measurements. We're looking at strength testing, flexibility testing, ACL prevention testing, power output testing to see how fast or how high somebody can jump, and then looking at baseline concussion testing. And when we put all those factors together at the start of a season, most people don't know why injuries happen. And our mission is to figure out, can we prevent or minimize or mitigate that from happening? So for the first time ever, we are going to test everything on the front end. We're now going to have a program which is a year long, where athletes will come see us monthly to test and work with our fitness specialists and our nutritionists to be able to help them throughout a year before they're injured. Now, I created this in working for the United States Olympic Committee. This was my job. My job was to figure out, how can I work with pro level athletes and measure how successful they are across the year. Well, we were tired of just being able to get them out of pain. We wanted to figure out, can we prevent this and have them perform all year long? So those principles we're now bringing out to the community. This is it. This is everything that I created at the United States Olympic Committee for the public. So now we can test what's happening in the brain. We can have test what's happening in the muscles, and test what's happening in the ligaments, and test what's happening with their knees, to be able to forecast, can we prevent injuries or minimize the time lost? And we know how much time and effort you put into helping your kids and going to practice and doing all these things. So that's the next program that we're coming out with. Sorry, I get very passionate about that. It's ultimately to keep our community healthy and injury free. So that's why we brought out this podcast and this topic. We're excited to be able to deliver that this summer. So whenever you're listening to this recording, this is March of 2023. We're looking to bring that out in, I think, June or July as we go into the summer, because we'll have all our youth athletes come in before the season starts. So we'll be testing June, July, and August. And that'll be a fantastic time to look at, do you have any family members or yourself or your kids that are at risk this year? And so it'll be a good opportunity for you to work on your health, your fitness, your strength, your flexibility, and being able to maximize your health for the year and beyond. So we're excited to continue to service you and our entire community. So hope you enjoyed the podcast wherever you are with your health status and everything. Ultimately, we're here to help push you to that next level and make sure that it doesn't come back and that you are staying injury free. All right. Well, we will see you guys on the next episode. Take care.